लालबाग के राजा बनते कैसे हैं वो जानते हैं। इसकी मूर्ति जो है ये राजा के फॉर्म में दिखाई गई है और थोड़ी सी पतली होती है, जिसे फर्स्ट टाइम 1934 में मधुसूदन कामली ने डिजाइन किया था और आज तक उनकी जनरेशन इस मूर्ति को डिजाइन करते हैं और उन्होंने 2011 में इस मूर्ति को पेटेंट करवा लिया है। और इस मूर्ति का सबसे पहले पैर बनाया जाता है और फिर उनकी वर्कशॉप में उसकी पूजा करके वो इस पंडाल में लाया जाता है और फिर बाकी की मूर्ति इसी जगह पर बनाई जाती है जहाँ गणपति जी बैठते हैं। और मूर्ति के सारे कपड़े और ज्वेलरीज होती है वो संजय वेदक जी डिजाइन करते हैं। और उनका जो मुकुट है वो 15 करोड़ का है, जिसे अंबानी फैमिली ने 2024 में डोनेट किया था। और उनके पैर गोल्ड और मेटल के होते हैं ताकि जब भी लोग पैर पड़े तो वो टूटे नहीं। लालबाग के राजा बनते कैसे हैं वो जानते हैं। इसकी मूर्ति जो है ये राजा के फॉर्म में दिखाई गई है और थोड़ी सी पतली होती है, जिसे फर्स्ट टाइम 1934 में
क्या आपने देखा है ताजमहल पैलेस जो कि मुंबई में है, वहाँ का रूम कैसा होता है? चलिए आज आपको दिखाते हैं, यहाँ का रूम टूर करवाते हैं। और इस रूम की प्राइस होने वाली है 1 लाख रुपीज। 1 लाख रुपीज एक दिन का यहाँ का कॉस्टिंग। तो हेलो एवरीवन, हम जा रहे हैं इंडिया के सबसे पहले 5 स्टार होटल दी ताजमहल पैलेस। ज्यादा वीडियोस यहाँ पे अलाउ नहीं है एंट्री के टाइम। और फिर इतना प्यारा वेलकम किया गया, हमारी आरती की गई, तिलक लगाया गया और ये तुलसी माला पहनाया गया। रूम में जाते वक्त इतना सुंदर सुंदर व्यू देखा, इतना खूबसूरत लग रहा था हर कुछ। ये वो होटल है जहाँ बड़ी बड़ी हस्तियाँ, बड़े बड़े सितारे रह चुके हैं। आज हम लोग को फाइनली मौका मिला यहाँ पे स्टे करने का। सबसे पहले यहाँ एंट्री के साथ आपको यहाँ पे दिखेगा कुछ लगेज सेक्शन। एंटर के साथ ही यहाँ वॉशरूम मिल जाएगा, एक बाथ के लिए अलग सेक्शन बना हुआ है। और ये रहा हमारा बाथ टब जो कि बहुत अच्छा है, बड़ा है। ये रहा हमारा बेसिन और ये रहा ताज का बाथरूम। तो मतलब इतना सारा हम लोग यूज भी नहीं करते हैं और इतना सारा यहाँ पे दिया गया। यहाँ पे दिखाते हैं ये बड़ा सा मिरर, इसे ओपन करते हो, देखते हैं क्या है। तो यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो आयरन है, आयरन स्टैंड है और एक और बाथरोब है, लॉकर और एक टॉर्च दे रखा है इन लोगों ने। रहा स्लीपर्स दिया है और ये शूज ओपन करने के लिए, डालने के लिए जो स्टिक आता है वो है। लग रहा है, मैं लगता है किसी कहीं की महारानी हो, इतना लग्जरी बेड है। चेयर दिया गया है और यहाँ पे ये सारी चीजें कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री इन्होंने दिया है, जिसमें कुछ फ्रूट्स है और ये सॉल्टेड कैशू नट्स है एंड आलमंड्स है। ये रही यहाँ की मेन्यू। ये सीरियल्स आप देख सकते हो 1300 में मिल रहा है। वो यहाँ पे है 1200 का। इसमें आप देख सकते हो सारे टी रखे हुए हैं, पाउडर रखे हुए हैं, कप रखे हुए हैं और ये कॉफी आप देखो, ऐसे रूम में फ्रेशनेस आ रहा है कि क्या बोलूं। और यहाँ पे अब वाटर है। सो हमारे विंडो के जस्ट सामने ताज का स्विमिंग पूल। फिर हम चले गए ताज के क्लब लाउंज में हाई टी के लिए। बहुत ही लाविश हाई टी, ऐसा हाई टी शायद ही हमने कभी देखा था। इतनी सारी डिशेस थी कि क्या बोलूं। गर्मा गर्म ताज की मसाला चाय को एंजॉय करने के बाद हम गए गेटवे ऑफ इंडिया जो कि ताजमहल पैलेस के जस्ट सामने है और प्यारी प्यारी फोटोज एंड वीडियोस निकाल। आगे क्या क्या हुआ ये जानने के लिए आपको वेट करना पड़ेगा नेक्स्ट पार्ट के लिए। क्या आपने देखा है
going to discuss regarding ethical principles in research. Okay, principles of ethics in research. So what is research ethics, or what is ethics in research? Research ethics means in every profession there will be a code of conduct. Code of conduct, that is what are the things you can do and what are the things you can't do. Okay, what are the things you can do and what are the things you can't do, that is code of conduct. In research also there is a code of conduct, that is called research ethics. The code of conduct in research is the research ethics. Okay, what the researcher can do, that is what is the right for the researcher, and what is wrong for the researcher, what the researcher can't do, that is research ethics. What the researcher can do and what the researcher can't do, that is research ethics. We can see the principles of ethics. Mainly you can see three principles. First one is principle of beneficence. Second one is principle of respect of human dignity, and principle of justice. Three principles are there. First one is principle of beneficence. Principle of beneficence. According to this principle, the participant, that is the person who is participating in your research, your subject, okay, the person who is participating in your research should get the maximum benefit and minimum or less harm. Okay, those who are participating in the research, they should get maximum benefit and they should get only minimum or less or no harm or no side effect. The benefit should be maximum and the harm or the side effect should be very less. That is the first principle, principle of beneficence. The things coming under this principle is, first one is non-maleficence. Non-maleficence, that means doing no harm. Doing no harm. Okay, so for this the researcher should take all the action to prevent the harm. Okay, the researcher should take all the action to prevent or to minimize the harm or the side effect. Okay, the researcher should take all the precautions. The researcher should take all the precautions to prevent or to minimize the harm. According to your study, the harm may be different. Sometimes it may be physical harm. For example, any injury to the participants. Sometimes it may be psychological harm. That is stress or anxiety to the participants. Sometimes it may be social harm. That is, there is no social contact. That is, they are participating in your study. They don't have any contact with the family or they don't have any contact with the friends. As well as financial harm. They are participating in your study. They can't go for the job. So it will affect their salary. There will not be any wages or salary to them. So you have to minimize such harms. Physical harm, psychological harm, financial harm, as well as the social harm you have to try to minimize or you have to reduce. Okay, so non-maleficence means doing no harm. Okay, no harm should be there and the benefit should be maximum. Next one, coming under the principle of beneficence, is the right to protection from exploitation. Okay, the right to protection from exploitation. Exploitation means misusing or utilizing. Okay, you should protect the participants from misusing. You have to protect them from exploitation or don't utilize your participants. The information shared by them, the data you have collected. Okay, the information shared by them, it should be used only for the research purpose. It should not be used for any other purpose. The information shared by the participants should be used only for the research, only for your research. It should not be used for any other purpose. So exploitation should be protected. Misusing of the participant should be protected. Misusing may be in the form of sexual misusing or the financial misusing or the emotional misusing. All the misusing or the utilization of the participant should be avoided, should be protected. All the exploitation should be protected. You have to protect them from utilizing or misusing. Okay, that is the second thing coming under the principle of beneficence. Next principle is principle of respect of human dignity. Okay, so this principle is related to the human dignity. Two things are coming under the principle of human dignity, that is the right to self-determination and the right to full disclosure. First one is the right to self-determination. According to this principle, self-determination means the decision to participate in your research should be taken by the participant. You can't force anyone to participate in your study. It should be according to their decision. The final decision should be taken by the participant only, not the researcher. You can't force. Don't force anyone to participate in your study.
Most working professionals are finding jobs the wrong way. They see a job post and they hit the apply button. And then they hope they...
It is according to their will only. Okay, they have to take the decision. I will participate. I am ready to participate in this study. You can't force. As well as the participant have the right to ask the question. They have the right to ask the doubts. And they have the right to quit the study in between. In between also they have the right to quit the study. As well as they have the right to reject from the participation of this study. If they are telling, I am not willing to participate in your research, that is their right. So all the decision should be taken by the participant only, not the researcher. The decision should be taken by the participant. Decision should be taken by the subject, not by the researcher. That is self-determination. Final decision should be taken by the participant only. Okay. Next one is the right to full disclosure. The right to full disclosure. That means you have to tell, or the researcher should share all the information related to the research to the participants. The researcher should share, or the researcher should inform regarding all the things related to the research, like the purpose of the research, the risk of the research, and the benefits of the research, responsibility of the researcher, as well as the responsibility of the participants. You have to inform to them. That is full disclosure. You have to tell full thing related to the research. All the things related to the research you have to disclose. You have to tell to the participants. And you have to collect the informed consent from the participants. That means you have to get the, or you have to take the permission from the participant. Yes, I am ready to participate in this study. I got all the knowledge regarding the research and I am willing to participate in the research. You have to collect the informed consent from the participant. That is the right to full disclosure. Okay. Next one is principle of justice. So this principle is related to the justice. Two things are coming under principle of justice. First one is the right to fair treatment. Okay, the right to fair treatment. That means there should not be any discrimination between the participants. There should not be any discrimination between the participants. That means equality should be there. Okay, for example, 10 persons are participating in your research. Among these 10, 6 participants are getting all the benefit and the remaining 4 is getting all the side effect or all the harm. Okay, that is wrong. All the benefit as well as the harm should be equally distributed. Okay, all the 10 members should get all the benefits, not to some people. Partiality should not be there. So equality should be there. There should not be any discrimination between the participants, as well as discrimination according to the color, according to the sex, according to the financial status also should be avoided. Fair treatment to the participants. And if your participants are vulnerable group, for example, children or pregnant woman or mentally challenged person, so you should be aware and you should be cautious while dealing with them. Don't overuse them, don't utilize them, don't misuse them. You should be careful while handling the vulnerable group like children, pregnant women or mentally ill patients. That is fair treatment. Okay. Next one is the right to privacy. The right to privacy. It is related to the privacy. Privacy should be given to the participants. The information provided by the participant should be confidential. It should be secret. All the information provided by the participant should be secret. It should be confidential, including the personal data of the participant also should be confidential. It should be secret. You have to use only the information for your research only. Don't share the information without the knowledge of the participants. So privacy should be maintained. Confidentiality should be maintained.
I passed out from IIT last year.
पास्ड आउट का मतलब बेहोश होना होता है. कॉलेज या स्कूल कंप्लीट करने के लिए ग्रेजुएटेड यूज करो.
Got it. I graduated from IIT last year and one of my friend now works with me.
वन ऑफ माई के बाद प्लूरल फॉर्म आता है तो यहाँ फ्रेंड नहीं फ्रेंड्स यूज करो.
Sorry, one of my friends now works with me. मैं इंग्लिश बोलने में बहुत वीक हूँ. समझ तो सब आता है पर बोल नहीं पाती.
डोंट वरी, हम ऐसे ही डेली प्रैक्टिस करेंगे जिससे कुछ ही दिनों में तुम्हारी इंग्लिश परफेक्ट हो जाएगी. अगर आप भी अपनी इंग्लिश को
Hi everybody, I'm Naufal. Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to discuss regarding a very interesting topic, that is communication and utilization of the research findings. Okay, so you have conducted a research and you got a result. Okay, you identified a problem, you conducted a research, finally you got a result. Now only you know regarding the result and only you know regarding that study. It should be reached the public. Okay, it should be reached to the public or to the maximum number of consumers or to the customers. Okay, so you have to communicate it and you have to utilize it. This is the final step of the research process, that is communication and utilization of research process. Okay, so how to communicate your research study? You identified a problem and you conducted the research, finally you got a result. Now you have to communicate that result with others, right? So how to communicate your research finding with the peoples? We can see the different methods of communication of the research findings. Mainly you have two methods, that is oral reports as well as written reports. Two methods are there to communicate the research findings, that is oral report as well as the written reports. First one is oral report. Oral report in the sense, orally you are presenting your research finding in front of the professionals in a conference. Okay, a conference has conducted and in front of the professionals you are presenting your study orally. Okay, you are presenting your study, you will get 15 to 30 minutes. Between that you are presenting your study, such and such study has conducted and this is the result I have got. So you are presenting in front of the people orally. Okay, so you are talking in a conference, that is oral report. The result you are publishing to the public through orally in conference, that is oral report. Okay, next one is written report. Written report in the sense you are writing the thesis or dissertation or articles in the journals. You are writing the thesis or dissertation. That means you are writing an essay regarding the research study, regarding the research topic, regarding the research finding. You are writing an essay. That is thesis or dissertation. Now you are writing in journals also. For example, in nursing journals, you are publishing your study. So written report has the maximum number of population you can cover. While writing the report, it will reach the maximum number of consumers or the maximum number of population. Why? Because it will reach in the most of the libraries as well as in the nursing unit and all, it will reach. In oral report, the audience will be very less. Nowadays, social media is there. Still, the reach will be less as compared to written reports. The written report will be a solid evidence of your study in the library. So, the most of the students, as well as the most of the nurses, as well as the most of the consumers will get the report regarding your study after you are presenting orally also. If a written report is there, it will reach the maximum number of the population. Okay, so you will write deeply regarding your research, regarding the problem, regarding your findings, and regarding your result. You are writing the thesis or dissertation. Thesis or dissertation means you are writing an essay regarding your research study. Okay, so you can communicate your research finding through oral report as well as written reports. Got it? Next we can see utilization of the research finding. That is the final step of the research process, is utilization of the research findings. You got a result and you communicated that result, but it should be utilized in the practice area. For example, you have introduced a new medicine. It should be utilized. You have communicated. Okay, you conducted the research, you got the result, you identified a new medicine also, and you communicated this medicine is effective for this disease. Now, it should be utilized in the clinical practice area. Then only that research will become successful. Otherwise, what is the use of conducting the research? It should be utilized. Then only that research become successful. Okay, so it should be utilized. Whether it may be medicine, you can practice in the clinical area. If it is a procedure, means in the nursing practice area, you can implement or you can utilize that procedure. Okay, if it is a new machine, means in the practice area, you can use a new machine. So utilization is the final step. After utilizing only, you can call that research is complete. Okay, so that is regarding the utilization. We can see the utilization process, how to utilize the nursing research. First one, in the nursing practice area. Okay, from the nursing practice area, you are identifying the problem. Okay, from the nursing practice area, that is the first step. Nursing practice area, you are identifying the problem. Okay, while giving care to the patient, you are identifying a problem. Okay, next, what you are going to do? After identifying the problem, you are conducting the research. You are conducting the research. After conducting the research, you are generating new knowledge. You got a new knowledge after conducting the research. You got a new knowledge that was not there earlier. You identified a new knowledge or new idea, or you got a new result. Then,
you must be having this question, Aditya, how AI can save 95% of my work? Let me tell you something. If you integrate AI, you
result. Then you have to communicate that findings. You are communicating orally as well as written reports. You are communicating such and such study has conducted and I got this result. This medicine was very effective for this disease as well as this procedure was very effective for this condition, whatever it may be. Okay, You are communicating your findings. After communication, you are implementing that. That is utilize findings. You are utilizing that findings means you are implementing. Means everybody is implementing that procedure or that medicine in the clinical practice area according to your study. Okay, so from the nursing practice area, you identified the problem. After identifying the problem, you conducted the research. After conducting research, you generated a new knowledge, and after generating new knowledge, you communicate it with the public, and after communication, you are utilizing in the practice area. Got it? That is utilization process. Now, you conducted the research, and while you are utilizing that study result, you can get some barriers, some obstructions. Okay, we can see the barriers of utilization, some obstructions or some barriers to utilize that research study. Mainly, you can see the barriers in three headings, that is factors related to nurses, organizational factors, and communication factors. Factors related to nurses, factors related to organization, as well as communication factors are the barriers of utilization of the research. We can see one by one. Factors related to nurses. Lack of confidence of the nurse to utilize that finding. Lack of confidence of the clinical nurse to utilize that finding. She is not confident to implement a new procedure. So it is a barrier. Okay, lack of interest to utilize that finding. The nurse is not having any interest to utilize that finding. Okay, lack of motivation is also a barrier regarding the nurse. Factors related to nurse, lack of motivation is also a barrier to implement a new change or to utilize the research findings. Okay, as well as the nurse is not willing to make any new changes. The nurse is not willing to make any new changes. Okay, that's regarding factors related to nurses. That is lack of interest, as well as lack of motivation, as well as the nurse is not willing to make any changes is comes under factors related to nurses. Okay, next one is organizational factors. That is related to the administration or related to the hospital. What are the barriers or what are the obstruction to utilize a research finding? Regarding the organizational factors, lack of support from the organization. The organization or the hospital is not allowing or not giving permission to implement a new study result or to utilize a new research finding. The administration is not supporting. As well as lack of fund of the organization. The organization is supporting, but financially fund is not there in the organization to implement new change. Okay, next one is lack of support from other staff, lack of support from the doctors as well as from the physiotherapists or from other nurses. Lack of support from other staff is also a barrier to utilize the research findings, comes under the organizational factors. Okay, lack of fund as well as lack of support from the staff also, as well as lack of facilities also comes under organizational factors. The facility is not there. Suppose you have implemented or you identified a new change, but a particular machine is not there to implement that change in that organization. So lack of facility is also comes under organizational factors. Last one is communication factors. Communication factors include improper communication. The research finding is not communicated properly, or else the research report, the researcher written a report, but it is not clear. The research report is not clear, or the research report is not readily available. At present, that report is not available. It comes under communication factors. Okay, so the communication factors, the things comes under that is lack of communication, and the written report is not clear, as well as at present the study is not available, or the research report is not available. These are the barriers. Mainly you can see factors related to nurses, organizational factors, and communication factors. Factors related to nurses means lack of motivation, lack of interest, and the nurse is not willing to make any other changes. As well as factors related to organization, lack of support, lack of fund, lack of support from other staff, as well as lack of the facilities. And in communication factors, improper research result, as well as the research result is not clear, as well as the lack of communication is also comes under the communication factors. That's all regarding the communication and utilization of research findings. Finally, if you have any suggestion, please comment below. Keep learning and keep loving literature. We will meet soon with another video. Till that, thank you and goodbye.